Motor's been running since 68, riding the crazy train, knocking down gates. Yeah, we were born to be wild. It's my life, rocking as an English child. Our Beatles were leopards and snakes. Youth go wild, falling into Sunset Straight. I wanna rock, feel the noise. Hey, 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 rock the life.
Welcome to Rock the Life, a podcast for fans by fans. I'm Amy.
I'm Katya, and today we're going to be doing an unscripted episode for a band that really played into our friendship and growing up and influenced our life. Amy, who is that band?
Firehouse. Oh, sorry. Okay, so I'm going to preface this whole thing really quickly. The other day, I was telling my aunt about this podcast, and she said to me, "Oh, that's right, you were a groupie." And I was like, no. And she looked at me all puzzled, and I said, groupies were known for sexual favors. And I said, that's not how we, operated. And she was like, oh, I'm so sorry. And I'm like, okay, thanks. So you'll find that by listening to our podcast, there's not a sexual component to, other than admiring the way these guys look, that we're gonna get into. I mean, well, we can't say that they're not hella cute, right?
Exactly.
But anyway, this episode with Firehouse, I have a huge crush on Michael Foster, and we're going to be talking about that because it kind of plays into the end of the Firehouse story a little bit. So just so you know, we're going to go there, but not there, if you know what I'm saying. Does that make sense? Is that okay?
Amy, I understand that perfectly. Yes. And well, let me just go back. So the years we're talking about Firehouse, it was when CJ Snare was the lead singer, and we had Bill Everty, who was the bass player then at the time, because I know we went out. So Perry Richardson, and of course, the other consistent band member throughout this whole thing was the drummer, Michael Foster.
Michael Foster.
So, Abe, tell me, let's go back to I'm trying, the first time we saw them was, it had to be with Ward, the Blood, Sweat, and Beers tour. No, I know exactly when it was. Yes. This was the time where you were supposed to be going to a school event, and I meant to be dropping you off, and I had every intention to drop you off like a good friend, but we were sidetracked by some tour buses.
Yep. Saw some buses and it was over. Was like, nope, we're gonna go meet some bands today. And that was kind of that. But that's what we did. And we had a great time.
That's what, well, so tell me about meeting Firehouse and how did that come about?
Actually, they were in their bus, and that was the first bus that we saw as we were driving up to the other hotel, and went up to my hotel and said, nope, I'm not getting out of the car. We're going to go hang out with Warrant, Trickster, and Firehouse instead. Pulled right back down that driveway and parked the car right next to a tour bus. It happened to be Firehouse's bus, and they happened to just be getting off the bus as we pulled up. So literally we're greeting Bill Leverty, CJ, and Michael as they get off the bus. And I don't recall any pictures with Perry. So he was not a part of that from what I remember. Do you remember?
I do not remember. And I remember the other three, and I especially remember Michael Foster because we were both a little giddy about seeing him.
Yeah.
These are, if you post any of these pictures, these will be the infamous purple jacket that you were wearing.
Yep. Wearing the purple jacket, not at all dressed for like back in 92, we would have called it an Indian summer, but I don't know if that's appropriate anymore. So I'm hesitating in saying it because I don't want to offend anybody, but it was an El Nino year or something crazy like that. So we had a longer summer, and I was way overdressed. Did not fit into a rock and roll scene at all.
I think it was a super cute outfit, and I'm gonna have to emulate it again someday. So that was like, and I'm trying to remember, so much of that day and that show to me was caught up in
Mhm.
meeting the bands that I don't remember a whole lot from the show, but
Mhm.
they weren't the like headlining band for that show.
Mm-mm.
That
Pretty
would have
sure it went
been
Trickster, Firehouse, and then
Warren.
Warrant. Pretty sure.
I
Hmm.
think so too. I think Warren had to have
Hmm.
been like the
I think that would have been the Firehouse's first album. So, oh, I should have brushed up on this, but I'm pretty sure it was Shake and Tumble. I think that was on the first one.
I think so
Ooh,
too.
I should have. I
I
was
think so
listening
too.
to like the playlist this morning, but I am not remembering what song was on what. But they had their first album, I think, was nominated for a Grammy. It was huge. It
I
was
know
huge.
they won they won some
Best
awards. It was
album of
either
the
for
year.
best rock,
Yeah.
heavy metal, best
New
album of the year in
album of the year.
'92.
Yeah,
Yeah, no,
yeah.
they
Mhm.
took off. They're talented musicians. So, but I also want to get into, because we already talked so much about that day where we
Mhm.
met
Mhm.
Warrant, Trickster, and Firehouse. But I want to go
Mhm.
to the next time we saw them, which was not
Mm-mm.
long after that, because that
Mm-mm.
would have been October of '92. And then the next time we saw them
October
again
91.
was July October '91, and then we saw them
Mhm.
again in July of '92. And this
Mhm.
time it
Mhm.
was at the Shoreline. And
Mhm.
just let me just a little background for that people not from the Bay Area. The Shoreline Amphitheater was a spot where, like, if there's going to be a band in the Bay Area during that time period, is at this
Mhm.
place called the Shoreline,
Mhm.
and there
Mhm.
was a big hill that went up, so like wherever your seat was, you wouldn't have someone directly in front of you. And then to make it more, I think, affordable for people, there's a huge grass area behind the
Mhm.
seating area, like a
Mhm.
hill that you could go to.
Mhm.
Overpriced food and drinks, just like a regular concert place, plenty of parking, but this was meant for concerts, and all the
Mhm.
bands,
It was an amphitheater.
singers,
Mhm.
everyone. I remember it was an amphitheater. I remember seeing like
Mhm.
Michael Bolton there with my mom. Like it was everything from them to Metallica would play
I
at the Shoreline Amphitheater. So,
I saw Bon Jovi Skid Row there in '89.
oh,
Mhm.
so did
Did you?
I. We haven't discussed that. Yes.
No, no. Right?
Yeah, we
No.
were there. I definitely saw Bon Jovi Skid Row there.
Mhm.
Absolutely.
This is off
It
topic of
was, yeah,
Firehouse,
that
but
was the place.
do you know what I remember most about that show? Like, there's two things, and this is totally off topic, but that's okay. I remember John Bon Jovi's scream during "I'll Be There for You." He huddled up in a little ball on stage and held the mic and did the scream. And when Sebastian Bach came out on stage, he came out backwards, and all you saw was that hair. And it was like,
That
oh
luscious long hair.
my goodness gracious. Like, and he came out with his arms like
Just,
out like this. It was like, wow. Anyways,
I
okay,
also
Firehouse.
remember John flew over the stage
Mhm.
too.
Mhm. Mhm. Yep.
That was like he had that like Superman thing that he was doing. No, okay, that was exciting.
Mhm.
So anyway, that
Mhm.
venue was, we spent a lot of our youth at that in
Mhm.
that venue
Yeah.
because all the
Yeah,
shows were
there I met.
playing there. So
Mhm.
we went there for Firehouse,
Firehouse. Yeah.
And Tesla were doing a benefit. Tell us about it.
KSJO had sponsored local San Jose rock station had sponsored an MDA benefit. And to be honest with you, at that time, I was there for Firehouse. Totally gaga for this band. Tape on repeat, or actually play all the way through, switch sides. And then because it was tapes, not CDs yet, or at least that's what I had. I didn't have this one on CD. I had this one on tape. I think CDs were new, but it was just, I was so all in to see Firehouse, and we didn't have tickets. Pretty sure it was a sold out show. So we decided to head on down to see just go check out the MDA benefit. They said they were going to have tickets, and it was a silent auction. So we're like, okay. So we get there, and I start bidding on the concert tickets. And, it starts at like $20, basic ticket price at that point, I think. And it slowly moves up and up and up. And I look at you and I'm like, we're getting these tickets. And let me just be clear, this was only concert tickets. This was not,
Yes.
anything else.
Yes.
It was just concert tickets. And it was a benefit, and I was still working at either Little Caesars or Round Table Pizza, one of the two. And, another pizza paycheck. And
Yeah, pizza,
I
pizza
ended up,
paycheck. Yeah.
right? I ended up paying, when
Yes.
all was said and done, $141 for these tickets. Made out to MDA wasn't
Which was
even,
huge.
it was
Which was huge.
huge. It was gosh, especially back then, concert tickets were not that expensive. And it was probably triple or quadruple, if not more, than what I would have paid just if I'd bought a ticket,
What we would have
or
paid.
even 2 tickets. So this package that they said was just 2 tickets. So we get there and I'm excited. I'm not regretting my decision. I'm like, it's a benefit. It was a benefit, and so it's going to charity. It's fine. But inside I was still going, ooh, that was $141. And so we get into Shoreline and we're kind of walking around a little bit. I remember walking by the backstage door, and I remember watching them check people in. I looked at you and I literally went, and I said, follow my lead. And you're like, what? And I'm like, come with me. Just follow my lead. So so the tickets came in like this little, almost like a bank envelope, right? So I don't think it was a full-size envelope, like a letter envelope. I think it was something smaller, if I remember correctly. But I walked up to the girl. I remember specifically, she had dark hair and a ponytail. I walked up to the girl and I said, excuse me. I said, we just did the KSJO MDA benefit. I lied. Here's the disclaimer. Full out lie. Let me just tell you right now. But I said, excuse me. I said, we just did the KSJO MDA benefit, and I paid $141 for these tickets, and there were supposed to be 2 backstage passes in there. And I opened up the envelope, and all you see is the ticket stubs. I said, there's no backstage passes in here. And she goes, oh my gosh, 1 second. I looked at you and I remember going, oh no, I hope they don't verify what was included in this package, Anyway, so she runs backstage. She brings like a manager out. I tell her the same story and she goes, oh, I'm so sorry about that. And hands us 2 stickers. Whoop! Pop the sticker on the shirt and in we go. I was like, I looked at you and I was like,
And hey, this became, and again, thank goodness this was before cell phone time because there was nothing to verify except our sweet
mm-mm.
innocence and like good natured. It was all good natured.
Yeah.
It was all good natured. And then what happened, Amy?
Oh my gosh. Okay, so Tesla was on, I think. We did not see Tesla. We were backstage for Firehouse. That's all I can say about that. I don't remember meeting anybody else or revisiting anybody else. I don't have pictures with anybody else but Michael. Do you? Do you remember? I just get stuck on
No,
my Michael
and that's what
pictures.
there's so
So,
much you get that is I do remember Tesla playing because there was definitely songs from Tesla that I loved and they were
mhm,
playing.
mhm,
But I know we were focused on being backstage and I think it no one else really mattered for us. It was that's who we
mhm,
wanted to go see.
mhm. So,
And what do you
however it worked
remember?
out, oh man. However it worked out. Okay. So let me just preface this. If you don't know Firehouse all that well, I'm just going to tell you, I grew up for a time. I've mentioned this on another episode. I grew up for a time in Georgia. So I have a southern bit to me. And Firehouse is actually from the South. I believe it's North Carolina. It's been a long time since I've had this discussion.
I think
But
it's North
anyway,
Carolina.
Michael has the sweetest little southern accent. So as I was talking to him, my southern accent came back. It was like, hey, yeah, we met you guys, when you were here with Warren, and that was really fun, and kind of how's it been? And then I started talking to him about what's it like being a southern like a southern gentleman on the West Coast. We just went into this full-blown conversation. We talked about biscuits and gravy. We talked about just off the wall things. But what I remember most specifically is we talked. Like, it went on and on. It wasn't just like oh, here's a picture, sign a thing. nice to meet you, and move on. It was a full blown like conversation. And he had other fans come up to him in the middle of our conversation and ask me, just one
I
second,
do remember
and
this.
take a picture with them and then come back to me. And
Yes.
so I'm just gaga over here, and I'm just over here kind of going, oh my gosh. And we're just talking. And in fact, if you look closely in the picture that I have with him, he's holding a picture frame. I didn't give that to him. He paused our conversation. Another fan gave that to him. And then he came back and we were talking. So, that was kind of cool. And then all of a sudden, okay, so I'm standing facing the bus and he's facing me, not facing the bus. And all of a sudden behind him, I see like they look like video girls ready to shoot a video, right? So they kind of pile on the bus. And then you slowly see all the other band members like go climb in on the bus. And you hear this, Mikey, time to go. And we're just still talking. It's probably been a good half hour. All the other fans are kind of gone backstage. Pretty soon, like 5 minutes goes by, just chit-chatting away, all that stuff, talking about the differences between the Carolinas and Georgia and what I know and what he knows. And then all of a sudden you hear this, Mikey, time to go. And he kind of waves, and they're on the bus and everybody else is on the bus, and he's just still focused in the conversation, not like backing away as he's talking or anything like that, still right standing there where he was. And then finally CJ pops out of the bus and goes, Mikey, let's go. And he's like, I gotta go. And then he was like, bye. And as he's walking up as he's walking up the bus, he turns around and waves again. And I was like, I should have given that man my phone number. I was like, what did I did not, what? Oh gosh. Yeah.
I do. So, what I remember also about that whole experience was the feeling of just giddy elation and happiness. And
Mm-hmm.
it was such a wonderful feeling that we
Yeah.
had that day.
Yeah.
It was a fantastic, like total rock
Like
concert experience again. And this band
yeah.
was awesome.
And we walked out. I remember walking out of Shoreline, like we were huddled together, kind of going, just giggling. I don't know. It was phenomenal. I loved it. It was a lot of fun. And I couldn't get over it. I could not. I was like, we sat there and we had just a really awesome conversation. And it just went on and on and on. And I never, in all of the 30 some odd years, I still remember biscuits and gravy, you know what I mean? And that kind of thing. So yeah, that was that time. That was that time. So I'm going to fast forward a little bit because that was before I met my husband. And we've talked also in another episode. I met my husband, I actually remember because it was at one of his shows and we have a flyer, but it was November 6th of 92. Okay. So this was July of 92. And then March of 92. No, March of 93.
March
Yeah, it
of
had to be the next
93.
year. March of 93, Firehouse comes back and they're playing at the Stone in San Francisco. So I've already told Clay, my husband, this whole story. He already knows, that I have this huge crush on Michael Foster. And he, to this day, we tease each other about it. So we're getting ready and we're heading up to San Francisco, and I tell my husband I want a guitar pick and a drumstick. Like I want the drumstick. And so we make it, the
Yeah,
Stone's a
you
small, it's
do.
a club. Yeah. It's a club. And so we're right up against the stage. There's no barrier. You just go right up against the stage. And there's opening bands and I don't leave that spot. So
Nope,
I
you held
remember
it.
getting there and just being one of the first ones in and just holding my spot the whole time. So opening bands, whatever. Firehouse comes on. Okay. And the way this stage is set up, I don't know if I'm going to be able to accurately describe this. So here's the stage and I'm right here on the fan side of the stage, right? And then Bill Leverty was right in front of me and the drum kit was set up directly diagonal from me. And then they had a little part at the stage where CJ could come out and Perry Richardson was on the other side. And so I was like, oh, great, I'm really going to be able to get a guitar pick, right? And then, the Firehouse comes out and Clay's standing behind me, okay? And I'm just staring at this drummer and just kind of going, wow, look at that drummer. And we actually, amongst all of our friends, we had this look at that drummer, kind of a thing. And it stemmed from Michael Foster. And anyway,
Foster.
yeah, it was like, whew, look at that drummer. Anyway, that's kind of funny. But we said it a lot, actually. But we went through and they're playing and there's eye contact, right? And we're just looking at each other back and forth. And all of a sudden Clay whispers in my ear. Well, not whispers because it's a live band, right? But he's like, babe, he keeps looking at you. He remembers you. And Clay says this to me over and over through the night. He's looking, he remembers you, right? Okay, so I'm not watching anything else in this show. I'm not paying attention to CJ. I'm not paying attention to Bill. I'm like, my focus is back here on this drum kit and I'm just staring. And we're kind of going back and forth, right? And there's smiles going on and all the things, right? So again, remember, I told Clay that I wanted a guitar pick. So Bill, during one of the solos, comes right up in front of me. He has this Velcro strip on his guitar and it holds the extra picks, right? So I'm over here and I'm staring at Michael and like, just googly eyed, right? Clay reaches up behind me. Bill's playing right in front of me. And Clay reaches my arm up, puts it on the guitar, because this is how close we are, on the guitar to grab the pick. And suddenly, like, my attention's over here on on the drummer. So I finally launch back into front of me and I go, oh, right? And I just have this funny expression and I grab the pick and I'm like, yay, I got a pick, right? And I, put it in my pocket or do whatever. I look over at Michael. He's busting up. He's laughing his butt off. I'm not even joking you. He's laughing. And I'm just, because I was so focused. We were looking at each other. He's pointing that drumstick at me when he's doing this thing and like this and all this stuff. And I look over at him and because of the face that I made, like, oh, yeah, I need to pay attention to someone else. He's laughing at me, right? Busting up. And so am I. And I'm sure I probably got bright red because I'm so embarrassed at this point. But he looks at me and he goes, and I was like, I know. So, he whispers, I saw that in case I was too quiet. And I was like, yeah, I know. I can tell because you're laughing. You know what I mean? But anyway, the whole night goes like that. It's just like googly eyes, like back and forth, right? So then they get done with the show. Michael whispers something in CJ's ear. And CJ, they come out, they're doing their bows. And then CJ says, we're going to be staying and signing autographs and taking pictures if you want to stay after the show. Okay. So after he says that, Michael comes up to me as they're leaving the stage, hands me the drumstick. Like some other guy tries to take the drumstick. Michael is like, nope, her drumstick, puts it in my hand and gives me the drumstick. And then I turn around and whip to Clay, like, pictures, autographs. Like, now I'm not you, so I was not prepared for pictures. Don't have a camera, pre-cell phone, of course, right? So I'm not, but I'm like, yeah, but I'm like, and Clay looks at me and he goes, nope. We gotta drive home. Nope. So he's like, I was like, can we stay? And he's like, nope. So it tickled, like, it was just the way he was like, nope. We're not staying. Nope.
No,
anyway,
we are not. He's like, I can put up with something, but not that. Yeah.
Yeah. It was so funny. And so that has to be, like, if you were to ask me my all-time, like, favorite drummer, I have to tell you Michael Foster. And that's why. I mean, it's one of my favorite band
I love
stories. It's favorite concert stories.
I know,
all of
I love that
because it was so great. Yeah, so great.
So now I have to ask you, have you seen them since then?
Once. But we got tickets so late and we didn't know that there was a VIP. Otherwise, we would have done the VIP. It was just this little place in Grants Pass. It was actually just a few years ago. We didn't, I think it was before, if CJ had already been sick, they hadn't announced it. If 30 years is a long time, but it was fun. And it was great hearing all of those songs. They played amazing. A little bit of a different lineup, but we had Bill and CJ and Michael. So other than that,
Yeah.
though, it was a
And
blast. It was a
Bill and
really
Michael
great
have
night.
stayed the whole time.
Yeah.
I was looking at their concert lineup, and one thing that caught my eye, which I can't do it for next year, they're doing a rock and roll 80s cruise. So
For
could you
2025,
imagine doing this? Yes.
we should do that
And
together.
I
We
was
should wait
like,
1 year.
look, I know that I saw that. I was like, an 80s cruise with Firehouse. I was like, so that looks fun, and I know
Yeah,
it'll be
yeah,
different because we don't have CJ anymore.
yeah, yeah. I'm kind of curious
But
to
I
hear
thought
what they
that would
sound like
be,
right now. We should
they do
we
it,
should
I'm
look at
in.
that.
Let's do it.
Yeah, yeah. 2027. Yeah, let's go.
But at this point, yeah, look at the price of concert tickets that would pay for it anyway. But it would be so much fun to be around a
It
group
would
of
be fun.
people like us.
I know, right? Right?
So I think we have to
Seriously.
aim for that.
Yeah, that would be a blast.
Yeah.
I have to show you something that I got. Okay, you ready?
Okay. Yes.
Can you see it? Where is it? It's a Rock the Life sticker.
It's
It's
a
got a glare to it.
sticker.
Isn't it so cute?
I love it.
Look at us.
Oh, Amy, those are great.
Clay had those made.
The
Aren't
two
they
redheaded
awesome?
guitars.
I know.
Those are
Okay, so
beautiful. Those are
everybody who's watched has seen the logo. If you didn't connect the colors of the guitar with my hair and Katya's hair, now you can. That's what those represent right there. See that? That has a thing. Those colors were chosen on purpose.
so now I want to know where we can stick the stickers. I'm going to put them on everything. I absolutely love them.
I have some for you. I have a few things for you.
Okay.
I cannot wait. Cannot wait to see you.
Okay, I know it's love seeing you on film, but I cannot wait to
Yep.
see you in person. It will be great. And and Aim, you know what I'm going to do after this? I am
Hmm.
literally going to go again through the concert itinerary of Firehouse for the next
Hmm.
year and see what we can do. And I want a repeat of Rocklahoma 2007
Right?
because every time I'm looking at the tour schedule of bands we love, they all like culminated
They were
at this
all there.
concert in 2007.
Wow.
So
Wow.
we need one of
That's
those. We
crazy.
need a cruise in
Yeah.
Rocklahoma.
Yeah, let's do
I'll
it.
plan our year out. Uh,
Right? Let's go.
well, Aim, that
I
was
gotta play the lottery though.
okay, yeah. No, I'll just keep working.
Lord have
We'll sell
mercy.
some stickers.
Oh gosh. Right? Merch.
Oh,
Merch. Who wants a t-shirt?
we're gonna get there. Oh, I love it. Okay, Aim,
I'm halfway not
thank you
joking.
for the Firehouse story. Yeah, no, I'm not either. I'm like my wheels are already turning. But I was
Yeah.
gonna say thank you for the Firehouse story. Like I love it. It has been like the pictures that we have from the times we had pictures when we were able to do them
Mm-hmm.
and the stories of them. Love this band. Like love
Yeah.
them. I'm
Yeah.
looking forward to see like again hearing and seeing the new
Yeah.
iteration of them without CJ.
I
But
know.
great band and I'm so excited. They're still touring and still yeah.
There is, and I don't know if it's in our intro. Okay, I might get in trouble for saying this, but our theme song, my husband wrote, it's an original song. My husband wrote it. One of the lyrics in there is Rock on the Radio. And specifically, when the song was written, it was not long after CJ died. I looked at him and I said, there's two things, because I don't want to say that we co-wrote it because he mostly wrote it, but I definitely had input on it. The name was chosen, so with RockTheLife, and there's a whole history for RockTheLife that maybe we'll go into in a complete episode
We'll have
when
to
the
do that.
song, he's going to release the song. So when the song is released, we'll do a whole podcast on the song, hopefully. But there's a lyric in the song that was Rock on the Radio. And since we've done a Warrant episode, I will also tell you that there's a line that talks about Down by the Wishing Well. I asked for two very specific things when it came to this song. And I said I would like to pay tribute to CJ and I would like to pay tribute to Janie Lane. I said it, you need to use Uncle Tom's Cabin. So can we somehow fit a reference to Uncle Tom's Cabin in this song? And to be honest with you, at least for that reference for Uncle Tom's Cabin, he'd already had it. We were like on the same page. He already had it. And I was like, oh my gosh, it's just awesome. So when the whole song is released, we'll do a whole thing on that because it's an incredible song. There are lyrics thrown all the way out. I
It is
would
wonderful.
highly recommend, if you haven't listened to it, in the intro, listen for lyrics. You'll get them. There's a Bon Jovi one right in there.
Wonderful.
It was good to chat with you. Thank you for listening to my Firehouse story. It excites me every time. Every time. Just, I mean, and I will have already shared the Michael Foster picture, but you can actually see it
Show it again.
right
Love
there.
it. Love it.
Look at that drummer.
Look at that drummer. Look at it. Where's the drumstick?
um, so it was in a box that I knew very well, safely, that ended up getting wet in our garage. So I had to totally repack the entire box. So it is in its own separate storage box. And if you were to look in my garage, you'd be like, which box? And I'd be like, because we have black and yellow bins, and we made the mistake of not labeling them. So you'd say, which box? And I'd be like, uh-huh. So yes, I have it. And once I do have it,
There.
it'll go
Okay.
right back there. But yeah, I have to pull it
Where it
out.
belongs.
All right,
Okay,
my
so
friend.
Aim, do you want to tell people where they can find us?
Yes, I got so excited I almost forgot. See, that's what Michael Foster does. We are at Rock the Life Girl on Instagram for any emails, fun stories you want to share, especially if you like How to Crush and you got to meet that crush and it went amazingly well. amy.rockthelife@outlook.com. Stay tuned for more episodes. Go back and listen to the theme song. And is that it? Thank you for watching.
Yeah. I can't
And
look. I
don't forget,
look forward to the next one. Yes.
I know, right? Okay, ready? Don't forget, rock the life. Bye.
Rock the life. Bye, Ames. Bye.
Love you. Bye.